All right, so we are still at the Olympiad. Now you play
Against the Grandmaster Sznapik, yeah, from Poland.
Okay.
Also very tactical player. And we played one of the main lines from Sicilian, from Pausen, where White tries to get some activity, but finally we come in a very complicated middle game, and then in a by force in a very complicated end game. And you'll see everything will be very unclear until the end. It seemed that White has a good chance to make a draw, but finally he'll lose by force. You know, an end game where Black was a little bit better. Finally, and then much better. And
Little bit
it
until
happened.
much.
So okay, after Bishop b4, Queen d3, d6, and now castle. And after castle, Knight bd7. White played Queen g3, and from now on, everything will be forced. Black takes in c3. You have to, if you want something, you have to demonstrate that the idea is good for Black, So Knight takes c4, Queen takes g7, Queen f6. Okay, after Queen f6, Black doesn't castle anymore, but has a better structure. Now you have to take in f6, of course, and we have this position. White has two bishops, but that doesn't matter, because the structure is better for Black, even with the two bishops for my opponent, and everything will be forced, because if White wants to have a normal position, he has to accept an endgame where Black is already better, by force, you'll see. So after c4, e5, Knight b3, Bishop e6. Okay, now we attack the pawn from c4. Everything is very clear. So he has to play f4 to have a good counterplay on the other side, and on the central squares. I mean, he hopes to take finally somehow on e5 and open the diagonal, the Black diagonal. So okay. So rook c8 takes there, and here that only good move, Bishop b2. Knight d7, of course. We protect. He has time to play Bishop d3, and now look, it's very open, the position. The king is still in e8, but is no threat. I mean, Black has a normal position. So now, after Knight c4, he has to take in c4 and accept the endgame, as I told you. And here, he took in e5, I took in e5, he must take in e5, rook c2. And here, the last hope. Now we come to an endgame after this move, Knight d4. After Knight d4, again, everything is forced. The endgame is forced, because the rook has no other possibility, but Black accepts the fact that he takes in a2 and he's better in endgame. So he must take in a2, and now again, everything is forced. He takes in e6, takes back in e6, we check. He goes there, rook h6. And now, how can you win this? 3 against 2, but you lose the pawn from b7 later on, because he's very active with his rooks. And okay, now rook f7 check. And that's what the idea. He doesn't take back immediately, because if he took back immediately in h7, you have time to come with 2 pawns, Finally, you have time to play b5, and with 2 pawns, he's clearly winning for Black.
So he wants to take this pawn, not this
He
one.
wants there, yes. And now if he can have the 2 rooks on the 7s, he doesn't lose, Now you have to demonstrate. Nah, well, maybe it's even dangerous for Black with 2 rooks on the 7s,
Yeah.
So now you have to demonstrate how you can win with Black, you are better. Fortunately, you can, because after rook g8, has no time to play g3. If he plays here g3, after rook d8, he's almost mate. He doesn't have time to take in b7 because it's mate in d1, you see?
Yeah.
So now he has to take in b7 and give you the possibility to control the second rank also with Black. And this position, believe it or not, is forced win for Black. This. So now he played the best moves, but it's too late. There's nothing to do. Okay, and now after
But he
rook c2, well, he has to move something.
He doesn't have a draw here. Move like that.
No, he doesn't have a draw, because he's almost a draw, but he's not draw. So gave a check. No, yeah. Now again check, and now Unfortunately, you have to move only with rook c7 because otherwise it's draw,
Yeah.
perpetual. But this endgame is lost for white, because the pawn is much too dangerous. The pawn from a5 wins. You give back the pawn from h7, but it's too late. The pawn wins. You'll see. So now a3, rook d1, and now rook g2. Now the threat is clear: a2 and queen.
Yeah.
So nothing to do. I mean, he took back and gave a few checks. Yeah. Another check, king b3, and he resigned.
Yeah.
Mathematically, one for black. You see. Starting
You cannot stop this one.
No. Yeah, you win in 2 moves. He has to give another check in h3, and after king b2 is finished. Even here, if he played king c1, for instance, rook g1 check, king d2, a2, queen. Nothing to do. a2 and queen.
Yeah. Nice.
Very nice, no?
Yeah.
Very simple. It seems very simple.
It seems.
No,
yes.
but you have to calculate. It's better because black has initiative, better placed. All his pieces are better placed, and finally you win the endgame. It was a small
Tempo.
edge, but finally the edge was clear enough for
the
black.
same number of pieces.
But the
and...
initiative is decisive. In all kinds of positions, black moves first. Let's say, no.
Yeah.
The initiative is enough to win. Yeah.
Nice.
But of course, you have to calculate because it's move by move. If you make a small mistake, it's draw.
Finish.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.